Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2021 action comedy Free Guy, a film that is directed by Sean Levy and it stars Ryan Reynolds, Jodie Comer, Taika Waititi, Lil Rel Howery, Joe Keery, and a whole array of people you'll recognise doing cameos in this film, from YouTubers to people like Channing Tatum and Chris Evans. So this film focuses on a video game called Free City that is essentially Grand Theft Auto in everything but name. And living in this city is a character called Guy, played by Ryan Reynolds, and he is an NPC, a non-playable character in this video game. He does the same thing, the same routine every single day, and then he comes across some sunglasses. Now, the real players in the game are identified essentially by wearing sunglasses, and they're considered like the special people in the city by the NPCs. He manages to get hold of a pair of these glasses, and he sees the gaming world in a whole new light. The world opens up to him, and he spots Jodie Comer's character, who is a real-life person who is in the game, trying to find some code to prove that the evil game company owner, played by Taika Waititi, stole her code and is using it to make millions. So she's trying to find this secret code hidden within the game to prove that she created the game. She ends up teaming up with Guy, Ryan Reynolds' character, and together they try and figure out how they can prove that she made the game and at the same time save this city from being shut down by the evil Taika Waititi. What are my thoughts on Free Guy? Well, the idea and the concept here is really fun and interesting. This film is like a weird cross between the Lego Movie, the Truman Show, and Ready Player One, and it kind of plays around with each of those concepts. But it's a fun and entertaining family film. I had a really good time watching this film. I'm not going to lie, it took me a little bit of time to warm up to this film. I felt like there was just something missing. It felt like there was a little bit of bite missing, a little bit of soul, a little bit of heart. I just couldn't quite put my finger on it. But about the halfway mark, I sort of chilled out, relaxed, and just enjoyed it for what it was, and I enjoyed myself far more with this film. Ryan Reynolds here gives a great performance as this character Guy. It's a bit of a toned down Ryan Reynolds. Don't be expecting the Ryan Reynolds that you're used to seeing. You know, the wisecracking Ryan Reynolds. He has a couple of funny moments in the film, a couple of funny lines, but the funny moments tend to come from people like Lil Rel Howery, who, you know, tends to play like the comedy sidekicks in a lot of his films. And also some of the laughs and fun come from the situations they find themselves in that you'll recognise, certainly if you're a gamer, and also some of the cameos that you spot in the game, you know, spotting famous YouTubers and other people that have got cameos in the film, like Chris Evans, and for me the highlight of the film in regards to cameos was Channing Tatum. There's plenty of action in the film, loads. In fact, it keeps you very entertained in regards to what's happening on screen. It keeps your attention, holds your attention for the most part, and the plot is okay. You know, it keeps it running along. For me, I felt this film faltered because you've got like the gaming world sequences. And then you've got the real world sequences, which is where you get Jodie Comer when she's a real person, and Joe Keery and Taika Waititi's role in the film, where he plays this evil games company owner. I thought that bit faltered and kind of dragged the film down a little bit because it wasn't as interesting and it wasn't as entertaining. Apart from when Taika was on screen, he plays this really over the top caricature, almost like he's actually a character in the video game, because he doesn't feel like a real person, but he is entertaining to watch, and he does kind of play this villainous role quite well. He just didn't feel real at all, whereas some of the other characters were in stark contrast to his, because they were, you know, fairly grounded and fairly realistic in their portrayals of these real life people. So I felt like that sort of dragged the film down a little bit and ruined its pace a little bit, the real life stuff. And it got a bit more exciting near the end. And again, it reminded me a little bit of Ready Player One, not just in the subject matter, the gaming subject matter sort of thing, but like how the pace picked up with the end in regards to the real life stuff and the stuff in the gaming world. It all kind of intertwined, and it was paced better by the end. For me, there was some good laughs in the film, some good giggles. Not like I say, they weren't really coming from Ryan Reynolds. The funniest scene for me in this film was a scene with Channing Tatum, who's being played in the game by this real nerdy guy in real life who we see. And he's obviously created this, image of himself in the game that somebody wished to look like, and it's Channing Tatum. And he's helping Ryan Reynolds' character and Jodie Comer's character. And he's like doing these weird Fortnite dances, and then he's shouting at his mother at the same time, telling her not to touch that sock, otherwise she'll never get over it, sort of thing. And I was, it just made me laugh and giggle to hear that sort of stuff coming out of Channing Tatum's mouth. I thought it was a real highlight of the film. Nice to see a lot of other like references that you'll recognise, in the film, the Avengers stuff and Star Wars stuff and all that kind of stuff. There's loads to keep you interested in. There's so much going on in this film. Your eyes are everywhere when you're in the game world. See if there's something you can recognise from your gaming knowledge or your movie knowledge. They give you loads to look at and loads to think about here in the film. I just felt like there was something missing. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't as invested in these characters as maybe I should have been. I just, as good as Ryan Reynolds is, I didn't love his character because he wasn't real, you know what I mean? And some of these others wasn't really, as much as they might try to portray that they were. Just didn't buy it. And the real life struggle of these other real life characters, there's, again, I didn't really, it wasn't end of world stuff, you know what I mean? It was just them trying to get their game design back and stuff like that. So it wasn't as enthralling as gripping. But on the back of the recent Jungle Cruise, which was a really fun family film, we've got another one here that's a really fun family film. It's not going to offend. There's nothing to speak of in regards to swearing, really, apart from a couple of really tame swear words. It's one of those that everybody can watch and everybody will be entertained by. You don't just need to be into video games to enjoy this film or anything like that. There is a lot of fun to be had with it. So yeah, I did have a good time with this one. So I'm going to give this one a 7.5 out of 10. It didn't just grip me as much as I hoped it would, but I was certainly entertained by it. So check it out, guys, if you haven't seen it. Let me know in the comments if you've seen it, what your thoughts are on the film. And of course, I will be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.